Hey friends, today I wanted to take a few minutes to explain to you the 5 steps and some details about step number 1 in a plan of how you can get wealthy in 7 to 10 years. I know that you've heard, the get rich, win the lottery, become a basketball player, kind of a plan. You've seen those on TV and things. And I know you've probably also heard the save 40 years, put 15% into your 401k, and become a millionaire over a period of 30 or 40 years. But this one is very low probability, and even if you make the money, you guys have seen that people lose it in the lottery and basketball players go broke. So there's a very low probability that you're actually going to be able to keep it. And this one, yeah, you'll get there, but it costs you 40 years, and now you're a 60-year-old, and when you're wealthy and you're 60, they call you retired, right? There's not a thing. I mean, you're not retired early. It's, the accomplishment is from saving and maybe just systematically investing. So I wanted to share with you 5 steps about how I would go about to do it in 7 to 10 years. And then the effects of step number 1. And so step number 1 is to retain 50% of your income for wealth and freedom. Now, this is not your savings account. This is not what you buy your house with. This is not what you buy your car with. This is not what you use when your brakes go out. Those are all taken care of in the 50% that you spend. Eventual spend, all those things in the other 50%. Now, there's some key things about this savings that you have to consider. Now, if you take this money and you put this money in your checking account, how is your checking account balance now? I mean, compared to how much you put in there. Let's say you put $10,000 in there. Is there $500 in there now? Which means pretty much when it goes in there, it becomes almost valueless. And so you're gonna have to create a place where you can put money in this half of your income, and it stays there. It doesn't go away. And so there's some strategies you can use to do that. One of those is a separate account, and just control it like it's something you never touch. Get rid of your checkbook, have it inaccessible, put it in there, don't think about it, and don't ever touch it. If you touch it, basically the value goes way down because now you've violated that rule. So if you have that one place that you handle money differently, it can be a tool. Now another one is you can set it up where you work, direct deposits half your income in another account that you never touch, and that's an easy way to do it. You can also start at very little and deposit the balance of your check in another account, and so then as you get a raise, it'll automatically bump up over a period of time until you can attain that 50% savings rate, so that you can start this process. Now, I'll show you how the results of step number 1 is. Now, consider this as only step number 1. But the effects of step number 1, if you do this the first year and maybe you're only running, 10%, and then the second year you're at 20 and 30, 40, and you work it up to 50, year 0 in the plan here is when you're at 50% savings rate. Until that, it doesn't count. And so how fast can you get to a 50% savings rate is when year 0 is in this plan. Now, if you're fresh out of college and you got your first job, you haven't rented an apartment, you haven't bought a car, anything like that, you can get there immediately. And also you can get there, whatever you're on in life. Let's say you make, $80,000 a year and you say, I can't do it. Well, you choose not to do it because you can do it. You go find somebody that makes $40,000 a year and you ask him what kind of car you drive, what kind of house, where do you eat, all those steps, all those things, right? And you lower your stuff down to that lifestyle. Now you can save the other half. I mean, it's possible. I mean, someone lives on half of your income right now, and so it's merely a choice. And so once you get to a 50% savings rate, then 0 you're at half. At year 1 you're at 100%, 200%. We get down here at year 10, just with this one factor, you're up to about 11 years of your expenses have been saved. So at this point, without doing anything else, factors 2, 3, 4, or 5, or any investing, you can pretty much stop working for 10 years. Now, that's not usually the intent of being wealthy. Wealthy is more about freedom, not about stopping working. Maybe doing the work that you want to do rather than the work someone else makes you do. And so that's what step number 1 is about, and these are the results. Now, once you're doing step number 1 here, you're really what I would consider a prodigious saver. You don't know how to invest yet, but you're at least saving. Now, you're not going to do this only for 10 years, because we're going to kick in, factor number 2, which is, I'll transition back over. We're going to kick in factor number 2, that I'll talk about in the next video, which is systematic investing. And I'm sure you've already heard about systematic investing and ways to do that. But there's a few tweaks of what you're going to do it, because your intent in this savings rate here, in this systematic investment, and in these other steps is to get to step number 5. And step number 5 is about being able to take advantage of disproportionate risk-reward investments. And we'll talk about the first one of those that you can take advantage of in the next video on investing systematically. Like and subscribe down below. If I get a few likes, I'll make the second video, and then we'll see how far we get down to number 5. But I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.